My name is Tracey, and I've been at Harvest City Church since December of 1998. So a few years ago, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago now, I decided to join the Genesis process. It was a big leap of faith for me because I knew it was going to be a lot of vulnerability involved. And through the process, one of the weeks, Deb was talking about the whole addiction process and being addicted to different things. Being addicted to anxiety is the same effect in your brain as an addiction to cocaine. And I remember thinking that time that, like, how could that even happen that you would be addicted to anxiety? And it was so crazy because the next week I went through work. I was feeling like looking at this myself, like almost like an out-of-body experience that God was giving me of like this hyper-vigilant, trying to control everything to keep things from falling apart every day, all day. And I was like, I'm addicted to anxiety. And it was just a huge revelation to me of realizing how exhausting it was and that, wow, I mean, like, it's possible not to live like this. So when 2020 started, I had plans. It was going to be a great year, as everybody has experienced. The year didn't turn out so great. And the biggest issue, which transpired over the school year, was my son, my youngest son, was experiencing a lot of troubles at school. And it was so stressful for all of us. Trusting God to, look after Keegan was a big struggle for me of, well, I just need to fix it. And I was in the midst of learning a new career, that it was a lot of uncertainty and humbling and just different things that caused me to fall back into that place of anxiety. At that time, we had started doing Genesis in the beginning of January of this year, of 2020, and of course we had to quit, and I was leading a group for the first time. After being isolated for whatever it was, a couple months anyway, not seeing anybody, not having any community. I remember one day that Laura had reached out to me and said that they wanted us to start up our Genesis groups again. I didn't want to at all. Like, I remember that I was like, I don't want to do this at all. Like, I didn't feel like I could help anybody at all. And I wanted to quit. But I remember going through that process of, hey, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do the one. And I hated being on the Zoom calls. And I don't know if anybody else can relate to not liking the way you look and having to sit and look at yourself on camera throughout a whole hour and a half meeting is awful. But we got started, and then our group met, and we ended up finishing up over a course of a few weeks. And we actually ended up meeting outside, and it was perfect. Laura had reached out to me and just to check in and see how I was doing. And she's been quite a mentor to me. So we had went for a walk. I talked to her, and she just about how I was feeling and feeling like a failure and that I wasn't doing well. And she just made me really stop and I guess I kind of call it a reality check, but just that God's more gracious than that, that I was doing fine and I wasn't perfect, and that's why I need him. It was one of those moments, that tipping point, that I was like, oh yeah, I am okay. And I thought, you know what, I can't live like this anymore. And I realized that one of my self-limiting beliefs had been that even though I believed with God, all things are possible, that I struggled to believe they were possible for me. And I really started to embrace that, and God gave me this vision that He wanted so much more for me than I wanted for myself or could believe. The next 6 months, the last half of 2020 has been, it's been such a blessing for me. There's been so many things in my life that have changed. Keegan, who was struggling in school last year so much, he was diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety, and it was a struggle to get to that point and not feel the stigma of it, of being labeled ADHD. But once we got through that, it's been so much more understanding for us. The clarity of how to help him and how to help me as a parent. Since then, he has excelled in school. He did a presentation at school the other day with so much confidence. My career change that I made a year and a half ago has completely evolved, and I've received pay increases and more responsibility and growth and challenge, and there's only so much more to look forward to with that. This year I just felt like the word freedom, God whispered to me, and I didn't really know what that was going to mean, but I was like, yeah, I want to be free. I wanted to be free from people's expectations and being caught up in material things. Those are two of the things, but the freedom that I've experienced this year is so much more than that I feel like God has just given me this freedom to just live without caring what people think. God has helped me break free of so many things and just live fuller every day and want to serve Him more and to give more and to bless people more just in general. And so I feel that it wasn't just the word freedom, that I think that it was strong and free. Those are the words that ended for me the year, and that's what got me through it. And I feel like 2021 is going to be a great year, even better.